welcome to another episode of Wheels Woodworking with myself, Chad Wheels Palmer. On this two-part series, I wanted to learn more about woodworking joinery and how to get better at it. So I ended up hooking in with these guys over at the Makers Mob, and we ended up doing this cool little challenge where every week a new video came out and you built one of these and you took a picture of it and you submitted it, and I ended up filming it all for you guys to see. Now I want you guys to check this out. Give me any tips, any tricks. If you guys know any ways I could have been doing this better, please let me know. There's a lot to cover, so on this first episode, let's go ahead and get to it. All right, the first joint I went ahead and made is a blind Mortise Tenon with a dowel going through it. Let's get started. That's exactly what I'm looking for. It was a bit of a tight fit, so I had to take some files, go ahead and do that. But I still need to go ahead. Got my little dowel cut. I wanted to use walnut, but I didn't have any walnut left. And I want it to be a bit proud too, so I still got to go ahead and plug that in. So I'm just going to measure it out, go to the drill press. You can. Joint number 2 is a wedged through tenon. Got the tenon coming through and I got the wedges in there. Let's go forward with this one. So I've never done a tenon on the bandsaw. On this challenge, I watched them go ahead and try it out. We don't have to do it this way, but I'm all about trying new techniques, learning new ways. So let's go ahead and try that. I went ahead and cut my tenon over on my bandsaw there. Never done it that way before. That was a super quick and easy way. Now, since this is a since this is a wedge through tenon, it's going to be coming through. So we're going to have to line up, find center on it. But let's go ahead, trace out the tenon. All right, now let's go ahead, get this middle out,
Now you can go ahead and hand drill it. I'll just go over to the drill press. I used to hand drill it before I had a drill press. Yeah, that way I know it's going right through, and I'm gonna go halfway through, then flip it, go halfway through, then we're gonna chisel it out, and this should slide together, then finish the rest of this up. So I got that drilled out. Now this is my face, so at least when this goes through, we still gotta put our wedges in there. I had to think about that. We had to put our wedges in there, so it needs to split. So we're gonna do an 1/8 on each side that we're gonna chisel down. So we'll chisel out the excess here, then chisel on an angle. That way when we pound them in, it'll work. Now, a quick way to make a wedge, I'm going to be using Paduke wedges. Take a little block that's about half the thickness that you need your wedges, and we're going to double stick tape it on there like this and run it through the table saw. I'll quickly show you how to do it. Now you want to line it up right on the edge of the tooth of the blade. So we'll start through there. And then once we do that, we'll flip it around, take the block off. Let's go ahead and do it. Now, as you can see, we got these long sticks. We just cut them down to what length we need now. And we got our wedges, and they're exactly symmetrical, or whatever that word is, angled properly. Just gonna clean it up with the file. I've already started on the edges here, then give it a light sand, then just spray it, and this one's done. All right, joint number 3 is a blind Mortise Tenon wedged through joint, and I went ahead and put a dowel through it. So you got the tenon that goes in there, and then I got the dowel through it. So let's move forward with this one. Okay, for this one, we're going to start out with the mortise first. We'll have our tenon here, we'll do after. But first of all, we need to do a 45 on this. So I'm just going to go ahead and trace it out. I'll use pen just so you guys can see it. Usually I'd use pencil or a marking gauge. This is when a good square comes into hand. Okay, let's go cut this. You can either do it on your miter saw or on your table saw. I'm gonna go do it on my table saw because I know it's perfectly square. Okay, so I went ahead and cut this piece on the 45. Make sure you put an R for the reference face on each one. That way when you're using your marking gauge, it's just in case it's off, you're using the reference on each one. And it'll be all right, now we gotta take out this middle piece. I stopped about 3/8 up because that's where it's gonna go. Now we're gonna go ahead and drill this out. All right, so I got the mortise all done, went over to the drill press table and got that, then cleaned it up with the chisels there. So that's all ready to go. Now we're gonna do the mating face. Same thing, we're just gonna grab this. I'm gonna start about 1/4 inch over and we'll clean that up after. That way I can cut it flush. That way it doesn't get in the way. So let's just start right about there. Then we still had the marking gauge already set up from when we went ahead and did this. So it's gonna be the exact same thing. That's gonna be the size of the tenon. I'm just gonna lay it out along here. Make sure you're going off the R, reference side. All right, so that's our tenon right there. Let's go ahead and cut this. Now, okay, I got my mortise all cut and the tenon. We have this excess little bit right here, so we need to take that off. I kind of lined it up a little bit there. Just score it right there. So you can do this with a hand saw or over at the bandsaw, what I'm gonna do. All right, I got the mortise cut, I got the tenon cut, and this would usually be a really weak joint, and this would strengthen it right up. Now we just gotta go ahead, do the glue up and put it all together, and it should be perfect.
So let's go ahead and stop there. I hope you guys made it through to the end and you guys enjoyed these. Don't forget, leave a comment below if you guys think I could be constructive criticism, if I could be doing something better, if you guys liked it, which one you liked the best. And next week, we do two of my favorite ones. We got the Tusk Tenon and we got the castle joint. So I hope you guys stay tuned, and then we got the final project.